here's an addendum to the last video. Because again, I do not know what I have in this room, and it drives me nuts. Because I have the room is so got all this stuff in it that I don't get into a lot of bins all the time. Because I don't build with this stuff all the time. I build with the pieces I build with. This bin is ostensibly called power functions, and it's not really power functions. It's kind of just an overflow bin where I kind of stuff that couldn't fit in any other bins. Because I got a bin right over there. You can sort of see it. There's yellow and black. Those are my 9-volt battery boxes. The 6AA batteries, the big ones that came in a lot of Technic sets back in the day, and little tiny 9-volt battery boxes. But I couldn't fit all of them because I keep on, every time I buy a lot, or most times I buy a lot, I find yet more battery boxes. So I have all these battery boxes here, and battery boxes, 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 and oh look, more battery boxes, and even more battery boxes. So look at this, and that's just in this bin. Forget about the other bin I just talked about. So yeah. But what I wanted to do, and it has an EV3, the only EV3 that I have right now that I got off of Jeannie. Thanks, Jeannie. And the remote for the EV3. Thanks, Jeannie. And the light up bricks that came out of, I want to say Exoforce, which I really did like. I really liked Exoforce for the 2 years that they came out. I think I bought most of them. Oh look, another battery box. And then these guys, these light up guys, which, oh, that still works. Okay, all 4 of them still work, good. And let's see, these guys, no, some are dead. Some are really dead. That one still works. Again, lots or sets that I got. So so here it is. This is going to go way, way back. This is me in, I think, I won't say grade school, because that would have been 1979, 1980. I'm not exactly sure when they came out with the 4.5 volt gray motor that I have in there. And no, sorry, the one below it, that's kind of really, really buried now. But all my battery boxes are in there too. The C-size battery boxes, the round ones. I was at this is how crazy memory is, because this is going back at least 40 years. I was at a garage sale. I think my friend Willie Pearl was with me. And we were at a garage sale in Winona, and there was a RC radio controlled tank for 25 cents. The tracks were missing, the treads on the tank were missing, but it came with the remote, and it came with the actual tank body, but there was no treads on it. So what can you do with it? Like without the treads, the tank's not going to move. I said, I don't care, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that home and I'm going to take the controller out of the tank and I'm going to build it into a Lego. And because and this is going right back in the day when Aurora Spectrum was out of, I want to say, it wasn't Newmarket, Aurora, Ontario, the sold to the educations, sold to the schools, and they had just released, Lego was just coming out with those tank treads. So let's see if I can find some really quick. Here we go. These guys, what was up? These guys, that year that these guys came out. So like 1977 then, well, I guess maybe a little after then. But Aurora Spectrum was selling the service packs where you could buy the 50 chain links for whatever. So I bought 4 or 5 packages of those because I'm going to build a tank out of Lego. Because this isn't just, it's just RC steering, AB steering. So what had happened was, and this is me being flying with the Electra set, which is what I did back then, pre-internet. Oh, here we go. This is a David Cowde's production. Yeah, this is me as a 13 or 12-year-old. Oh my God. Sorry for wasting your time. So what I did was, let's take this apart really, really quick because I didn't glue this together. This is the circuit board that came out of that tank, right? So there's the relays that send the, convert the, because this thing had 2 power inputs. It had a 4.5 volt power input for the actual motors in the train and the tank, and it had a 9 volt motor input for the actual controller circuit. Which would liaise with this thing. So here's me with the 4.5 volt motors, drilling the holes. So yeah, you're gonna love this part, and you can see it. You can see that those bricks here look a little warped. I would drip solder. I drill a hole through the other side. You can see the wires there. I would drill the tiny hole through the other side. So I'd stick the wire through, and then I would drip the solder down in between the things. And then I would drill the hole afterwards to take the plug for the 4.5 volt. And then of course, drill the bigger hole in the middle, because of course the 4.5 wires that I had that little knobby in the middle. So this was the left side motor, and that was a right side motor. And I would actually color code them, because you didn't want to reverse the plug. And so I even color coded the plugs, the gray wired plugs. And if I went into that right now, probably not in that one, but the one down there, I would still have 4 plugs, 2 sets of plugs that have black one side and white the other side. And I would find 2 battery boxes, the C-size round long battery boxes that had black on one side. Other side. This is not a Star Trek episode. Anyway, and then on the other side, exactly the same thing. So the 9 volt input, the 4.5. What was that for? Oh, that's the battery box. All right. So this is the 9 volt battery box, which they didn't have a battery box for 9 volt batteries. So basically, I soldered a 4.5 volt connector onto a 9 volt top connector, and that's what I used for that. The 4.5 just went to the battery boxes from the Technic sets, and then of course the switch, and then the antenna. So actually, so I had an antenna. I just soldered a wire to and I put the antenna itself was like a 1.5 foot little tiny wire coming up, and I just soldered that inside a 1x2 brick and drip solder in there too. So this is going, I couldn't have been more than 13 years old when I did this. Right. And I can't believe I kept it this long. I've obviously lost the 2x8 that was in the middle. So this thing got me, this got me to, I bought the Commodore 64 in 1982, 83. Okay, it came out in 82, so I probably bought it in 83, 84 for $3.99. And then I got into circuitry, and I built a little breadboard interface in the Commodore 64 that basically on the serial port out on the back, the user port on the back, it had 8 lines on it, outputs that you could just poke to, turn them on and turn them off. And so you write a little program, and if it went out, so it went to a circuit board that had resistors, and I didn't download the specific specs on the internet because you couldn't find them, but there was a generic circuit board for inputs to outputs to a relay, just like those ones you just saw in here. And so I had 4.5 volts going to the motors, the 4.5 volt motors. And I almost got to the point, because what I was going to do, and I never got there because I just didn't have time, I was able to control the motors themselves from the Commodore 64 using poke statements, because that would just turn on the lights, turn on the lines on the user port. What I wanted to do was get to the point where the 9-pin interface on the joystick ports, because they're inputs, is to have touch switches, and even potentiometers, which basically are the rotation sensors, and even light sensors, because there is a variable port on the joystick input. Not just on and off like the joystick switches. There was one that was for the mouse and the trackballs. You can actually have 0 to 255. So you could do this and just solder it, just like we did when we built our own sensors for the RCX. If anybody remembers the year or two into the RCX, the sheer volume of people, and I honestly can't remember their names, but they were just wonderful because they shared everything on the internet. How to build your own rotation sensor, how to build your own light sensor, how to build your own and connect it to the RCX. It was honestly the easiest thing in the entire universe to do. But I was doing this back in the 64 days, not nearly as thorough, not nearly as nice, not nearly as wonderful. But I just never got to the point where I was programming an actual robot to take inputs on the joystick port and outputs to the motor. I was able to control the motors just by programming. On for 10 seconds, off for 10 seconds, backwards, forwards, all that stuff. I wanted to take it to the next step. Life happened. And that's all gone. I can't believe I didn't keep that, but I kept this because I don't have anything for my Commodore 64 anymore. It's probably when I took the whole thing to Value Village, that probably went with it. I just took the box or 4 boxes of Commodore 64 stuff to Valley Village, including like half a dozen 64s and a couple 1702s, which just, again, 1541s. But I had the RAM expander. I had a 1 meg, get this, I had a 1 meg Commodore 64. RAM expander, I can't remember what the, and the modems, the 1200 baud modems and blah, blah, blah. It was a time that'll never happen again. But anyway, I pulled this out because I'm thinking I'm going to use this. Oh, there's batteries in this one. I hope they're not leaking. I have to take it apart now. I'm going to use it again. So this is, people who know this stuff will say these are the older boxes and these are not even the rechargeables. But this is what I have because I never bothered buying the newer stuff. But I do have in here somewhere, there it is, this guy. So this guy will, I'll show you. This is a wonderful, Lego was back then. You put this on here, like that. And get this out of the way. I can't do it while I'm filming at the same time. Am I connecting that correctly? It's not connecting. Oh, it's this way. Duh. This is me not knowing what, because I don't use this stuff. So anyway, so this stuff, well, I used the one with the batteries in to see the battery still work. Probably not. So anyway, so this guy, but this is the wire. This is what Lego did back then, which they didn't do with the NXT or the EV3. And again, I'm not going to fault them for that. I really am not going to fault them for that. Because what they did do is they built the rotation sensor into the motor so you didn't have to do this, whatever. But anyway, this wire here takes power function wire and you're able to connect it to, ta-da, regular 9-volt connectors. So you can either connect this to a 9-volt wire or any 9-volt thing. So here's this, and here's this. And there, you're done. Now let's see. Yeah, that's funny. I have, honest to goodness, I have no idea how long this thing sat in that box. And the fact that I just turned on, and now I can control my train via one of these things. I think this thing was, again, I won't remember because I never used it, but it doesn't matter. That impresses me. And if you know anything about electronics, the 9-volt battery, the regular 9-volt battery, which is in this black box, again, I think I got all mixed up. Oh, here. Pop this out. I'm gonna put this back down because I like doing things with two hands. This 9-volt battery here will not have the same juice as 6. I think they're AA. It might be AAA. It doesn't matter. This thing will not last as long as these ones in here. They won't. This thing will die faster, pushing this heavy train around the layout. So I'm probably going to use this guy now in the layout instead of this guy on this train. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring both. And again, if they actually have power there, all the power to them. And I will use the power, but so I'm going to make these things absolutely convertible between power, train controller power, or just battery box power. But this guy here is going to be powered by this big box instead of the little 90-volt box because I think it'll last longer. What I was originally planning was using this guy because I love this. And I think that'll be cool. But I think for longevity, I'm going to use this guy. And I'm going to probably bring a spare so I can swap them really, really quick instead of replacing the batteries in them. Because there's a screw in the bottom. You have to take them apart, which drives me nuts. What else we have in this box, though? Because while we got it open, let's talk about this box now. So I got these, oh, there's a polarity switch. Not as good as the original, because it just goes back and forth. The original polarity switch that came with the RCX era, you could just put it on a spinner. And then we got these guys here. Let's see. Oh, there's the dinosaur one. And this guy's dead. So, and I got a whole bunch of these. Controller, not the good one, but they're there anyway. Another battery box. Oh, look, yeah, another battery was over there. These large motors were honestly, for a time, my favorite for a while, because the torque on these things was utterly fantastic. And I built a air compressor for my pneumatic train using these, and I just had 2 of these motors, one on each side, and it was able to operate 4 pumps, 4 hand pumps, without any issues whatsoever. So that was great because I like my pneumatic train. That made me happy. And again, if you go way back at the beginning of this channel, you'll see them. So that's 2005 when I was experimenting with that kind of stuff. So in here I got a couple extra large. I used up all my regular motors and my stingers. So each one of those takes 4. So there's 8 bad motors there, regular size. So actually, I have one right there. I think I got that in a lot. But other than that, there ain't much in here. It's just the big XL motors. This guy, which is not even a electric motor, it's a wind up, which is fine. That's cute. But I had to put it somewhere. So this is this box of stuff that I rarely go into, but I'm glad I did. I'm gonna bring that. I'm not sure if it'll actually do something. I have to now remember how to do that. So I'll experiment with that for a little while, and then I'll put all these battery boxes back in here because I have no other place to put them. So this is me getting ready for my show and bringing you guys along for the ride. And put my EV3 in here because I have no other place to put it. I don't have an EV3 box yet because I don't have lots of EV3 stuff. I'm going to bring that guy. I'm not going to bring that guy. I'm just going to bring the white one. But I'm going to bring both these battery boxes. And so I'm going to be playing for a bit. And maybe I'll show it off at the show. But there I am. Lots of stuff going on. And I'm really appreciative of this. And I really do have to, I keep on saying this, I really have to go through every single bin that I have and sort out the stuff and keep the stuff I want to keep, because again, it honestly, and I'm getting a little discombobulated. If you don't know what that word means, look it up. But I am getting a little discombobulated about how, I won't say messy my collection is, but just these 2 bins alone. I haven't looked at them in years, and that bothers me because why do I have them then? But Sandy and I have a saying that we learned from the previous generation. If you don't use something in 6 months and it's just sitting on a shelf, why do you have it? Just get rid of it. It's taking up space. No, I'm not going to apply that 100% to my Lego collection, because there are parts and pieces that I'm not using now that I'm going to use in the future, possibly. My thing is that all of us Lego enthusiasts, it's very rare, but most 99.9% of us Lego enthusiasts have a collection of Lego where at least 90% of it we're not using. Me, it's about 99, right? Like when I look through here, when I look through all of this, right? All of it, and then forget the stuff in the garage, right? Yesterday overfilled this. Forget the stuff that I lent Jeff 3 full totes of Lego, and I have a 4th one. I'm starting a 5th one now of those totes there of just overflow basic brick. And I mean, look at these. They're full. Like this is how I keep, again, my ratio between density and access, right? When one bin gets full, I subsort it. That's what I do, because then most of these bins are pretty much full. So the density, there's hardly any air. Like this one has air, but that's miscellaneous slopes, and I don't have a lot of miscellaneous slopes. Whereas, actually, it's both slopes, and I have to sort them out. But 99, I would say 99%. If I counted the number of pieces that I'm using in the layout and these builds over here and blah, 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 99% are stuck in these bins and the totes and in the garage and at Jeff's castle, right? And I usually, I don't even think about it because I come down here and it's my happy zone. I'm in my Lego room, right? But then I look at the stuff on the floor. Now I do have a walkway, and it was cleaned about 6 months ago. There was nothing on the floor 6 months ago. That came back from the show we did at Pete's with Pete in the studio. And so I have an idea to build a wooden box to house all that stuff. So when I go to a show, it's not just wires everywhere and a complete mess. So the organization, that's the key. But in the end, I won't show you, but underneath the desk here, I have a whole bunch of totes that are unsorted, unwashed, some of them. I haven't even gotten around to washing them. And push that in. And I love just seeing the musical notes here. See, I pulled that one out. I pulled that one out more recently than I pulled these 2 out. Now, some of you, what? Like I had my niece over here, my grandniece, who's all 4 or 5 years old. And I brought out the musical thing, the Lego musical thing, which is buried way over there in the corner. But there's the musical notes. So I had that out recently, more than I had these guys out. And some people are just going to admonish me for that. Oh, well. but anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. But I am getting right now, I look at this room and I see how, I'm not OCD, but how disorganized it is right now. Like this is all disorganized here. It is kind of everything is kind of thrown in there right now. Because I have been doing shows. This is my third, quote unquote, this is honestly my third show this year, which is shocking because of the lockdown. But before we were doing 6 or 7 a year, and other life things getting away from me to keep this room nice and organized, and I do like looking in my room and say, oh, I remember getting that for Christmas, right, kind of thing. And look at the cute little bunny, right? And then, yeah, no comment. So, sometimes I hate myself. Sometimes I say, yeah, whatever. So, and I cleaned up these shelves so they're not just jam packed with like stuff. So I have tried to organize a little bit too, right? So there's my Galaxy Explorers, the color coded ones, and then there's and then regular sets, not all of them. I meant to hide one of those too, because again, I only wanted one set of each thing up here. And then I don't even know why I have that box still. So there's actually room up here now, right? So, and this is what you saw my videos where I was working on this, where it's all computer controlled. And then we get some other stuff, the Activamobile and 1960s garage and the logo set that you can't even see it because it's like hidden in the back there. And this wonderful thing that I keep with me all the time from BrickFet 1. And then down here, again, because that thing's too big to put on the shelves up here, I have my 70 sets, and Josh just built that one. And the card that I got out of a lot just recently, my nice little thing, and of course this guy. And then like a 926 and whatever, and then my first self-built monorail, really, that I did in the layout years and years ago. And then Winnie the Pooh, and so it's a little cleaner than it was. And that's a little cleaner than it was. But then you get over here where it's just a disaster, right? And then minifigs, I don't even want to go into the minifig bins right now. Like, they're a complete mess. They're a complete and utter mess. And I don't even know why I have this thing together. Like, I haven't sorted axles in forever. I should just throw that in the box and forget about it, because, whatever. It's just taking up room on the shelf. And I should throw 2 of those into a box because, again, having 3s. And I don't want to take them apart, because it's not like I need the pieces for anything else. But this is my original, right? Because it's got the stickers on it. And I should actually replace these wires, because some of these wires are bad. But then there's the other 2 that I got to build from, because just the acquiring lots off of friends. So it's a cute conversation piece when people stop by when they used to stop, and for these videos. So, and I miss having my pictures out, because there's no place to put my pictures down here, right? So this is the Josh wall of Josh, and look at that. Santa 2012. We were in Ottawa. So, and my R2s are hiding in the back there. I have 2 of them back there. And then the NXT sitting there looking all forlorn, sitting beside, what's his name from Galador. And the Galador one I got from Valley Village. I was just walking through Valley Village. I would not buy Galador off the shelf back in the day. Not to go off on this tangent, but I would not buy Galador off the shelf. But I was in Valley Village, it was like $4. Okay, whatever. And then I found out that you could put batteries in them and you did stuff. So that's kind of neat. But anyway, so there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of archaic, old stuff here, and the blacklight, which I made a video about a long time ago, and I was going to upload it, but I found that in Valley Village just a couple months back, instead of just having a stupid little bulb. And I was absolutely amazed when I turned the blacklight on what this Lego room looked like. As a matter of fact, well, while we're here and I'm wasting your time, let's see. I'm going to, without too much ado, go turn off this light. Okay, so it's going to get dark in here. Very scary, boys and girls. Very, very scary. Not that I'm Count Floyd. So plug that in, turn off that light. So there's a black light. And so I'll add it to this video because I didn't like the other video. But if you hold this light up, you see like, well, there's a little bit of a glow there off her helmet from the, and then I got a trans green, 1x1 trans green instead of trans yellow, because the trans yellow doesn't light up, but the trans neon green does. So somebody should have told me. I was colorblind, so I didn't notice it was trans green. And then the other NASA hats, really cool. Over here, look, honestly, to this day, in the top 5 best classic space sets in general, the Sat 5. Somebody didn't tell me this either, by the way. The Dart has a trans neon green instead of a yellow. And then back there, I don't know, that's the inside of a roll. But then you come over here and my bins light up, which is odd. But then you got the yellow pieces, the yellow Technic pieces there lighting up. And then you come over here and you just see trans neon green. Look at that. Like from this distance, like if you hide it, it goes away. You have trans neon green and trans neon orange. And you come over here to the rest of the room. There's the glow in the dark pieces I have up there. And there's not much else in the room. So over there, you can see the Scorpions or Fleebnorks lighting up, the Blacktron / M-Tron visors, and going down here you got the scuba mask. So there you have those walking, I think the mini Bionicle guys. So the dragon from I honestly can't remember now if it was Ninjago or something else. I can't remember now. My trash can. Oh, the Value Village stickers. So the white, some of the Lego stuff, white shows up really neat. My instructions for building the layout. But and then there's the RoboForce, no, Spy Race robot over there. So, and even the rabbit. Look at that. But so this is it, right? So all cute, and again, this is why I really wanted to do a as trans neon green in the dark, because it just pops. But anyway, I'm gonna put that back down, and we'll turn on the light again before I flip over something and break my neck. Let's see. There we go. Unplug you. So I think that's enough for now. That's 27 minutes of time you're never going to get back. I have some good ideas for the show. I think I'm prepared, or getting to be prepared for anything, whether power or not, batteries or not, blah, blah, blah. And we will go from there. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. I don't think I'm going to be talking too much between now and then on the YouTubes. I might do a video of me loading the car, because some people might find it interesting. I don't know. I just find it time consuming, but I might do that. But if not, then I will do a couple of videos from the show itself. Everybody stay safe, take care, and be nice to one another, and I will talk to you soon.